Hey, welcome back to This Random Life. Hello. I have Amy. If you guys don't know, you
So,
look at the last podcast, one of the last podcasts. You know which one it is.
a couple weeks
A
ago.
couple weeks ago, we had two extra people, and this time it's just a one-on-one.
Or now it's gonna be weird.
No way, no way.
Might get awkward.
Let that silence go by. Oh man, so how are you doing?
I'm good. I am exhausted, but in the best way.
Right, overly worked, but in all the best ways.
Yeah, like I function better when I have too much to do.
Right. I feel the same way, especially when it's like the last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I thrive even better when it's like, oh, you have 30 seconds left to get this prepared, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been sewing clothing.
Yes, I've been sewing the last couple costumes for Rocky Horror. Which is this weekend.
This weekend, the Rocky Horror.
It's Thursday at 8, Friday at 10, Saturday at 8 over at the Marion Theater.
Theater. Where is it on the 13th?
It is at the Marion
Oh,
Theater.
okay. The Marion Theater. And you will be able to see us there too on the 13th because
Yes.
I will also be at the Matt Gray family event.
We will be over there too.
Yeah. You guys should hang out. Yeah. I've been doing the same thing. I'm like, well, I'm not allowed to say anything, but you guys should definitely hang out.
No, I'm it's not a surprise, but it is a surprise. It's not a secret, but it's a surprise.
Right.
There we go.
Right.
That's
You're
what
right.
it is.
People know. Not everybody knows.
But not everybody knows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited for that. It is going to be the first time we do a live show. So we're going to be doing it like live Facebook and at the same time recording. So everything's
Nice.
and we're going to be doing it for the entire night. Well, not maybe not the entire night because if I want to like eat some food, I don't want to be like wiping my beard like 30 times on camera to make sure I like got all the taco sauce off my face or something.
Better eat your tacos without sauce then.
No. I am not going to give up my eating for my viewers. But my viewers can bring food, and I will definitely eat on camera at that point. I've had someone come on and bring food, and I was like, the most gentleman style of eating. I was like, let me try this. This is delicious. I will save the rest for later. Instead, I'm like, ah!
Yes.
So yeah, we'll be on and off through that time, but I'm hoping that I can catch you from like the corner of my eye and be like, oh, time to turn on the camera. And then, there's like a surprise going on or something that day, and then you guys should just come out and go check it out, especially like from the beginning to the end. If you guys can hang out all day, I'll give you a t-shirt.
And if you hang out all day at the Halloween Fest, it ends at the same time that Rocky starts at the Marion Theater. So you got time to mosey over.
You got time to walk over and hang out, maybe meet some of the shadow cast.
Yeah.
That's fun. Now, you do have a lot of friendly faces I know on your shadow cast.
Yeah.
How are they feeling?
I think everybody's really psyched about it.
Yeah?
Yeah. My inbox is flooded with people asking me 10,000 questions. Is it okay if I do this? Can I share it here? Can I do this? What if I did this? And it's awesome that they have so much energy.
Right.
It makes me happy.
That's awesome.
And so excited people are telling me, like, my parents are coming to see it because they have loved it forever and have been going to see it since the 70s.
Nice.
And they're bringing all their friends. And I'm like, sweet.
Wow. I was daydreaming the other day about your shadow cast. And I was like, man, this is going to be so sick. And then I was thinking about like what other things could be shadow casted. And I thought about Pink Floyd The Wall, but a modern version of Pink Floyd The Wall. Same concept and everything, but more of a TikTok instead of a musician feel. I
actually got to see The Wall live in concert.
Me too.
With Roger Waters.
Me too.
And it was epic.
It was so epic. Like,
it was probably the singular most intensive experience I ever had.
Artist experience. Like that's
Yeah,
yeah.
performance.
Performance
Because it
wise,
wasn't
yeah.
just going to see a concert. It was like they built each brick of the
Mm-hmm.
wall in
Oh my
each, and
god.
I'm a nerd,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, how are they doing that? And it was like projectors. So like each
Really?
individual brick, if you looked like that, I had 4 seats.
Yeah,
I
I
was
did
only
too.
a couple rows back. I was
Yeah.
pretty close up, so I'm like looking around, and each brick in the wall had its own projector.
What?
That's how like high quality
What?
this production was.
Man, when did you go do this?
Oh gosh, like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last time I went, it was probably about 6, 7 years ago, and there was actually like it was like foam bricks, and like people like would come out and actually put the bricks on the stage, and
Yeah.
at the end it was like,
They all fell down.
psh, yeah,
Yeah.
and they blew up.
And they had
Yeah,
the giant marionette puppets.
they didn't have that. I don't think I was
Oh.
really, really, uh, yeah,
Yeah. No, they had like these giant marionette puppets that were like 30 feet
oh
tall.
man.
And I saw it at the Amway Center.
Okay, I saw it. I think Orlando.
Yeah, that's Orlando.
Okay, then probably there.
Okay.
I have pictures on my Snapchat.
It was epic. And then they had the pig
Yeah,
floating
yeah, I
around.
saw the pig. I remember
Yeah,
the pig.
it was good.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I love art like that. I love when you create such an epic engagement with your art that it's something like that. I got to see Dark Side of the Moon as well with Roger Waters, and
Nice.
that was ridiculous. It was just a giant panel wall, and it when you felt like when you were going from scene to scene, it felt like you were being dragged into the next scene. It was
Nice.
so wild. It was so great, and I feel like a lot of that is going to be things that we do in our art that
You
we
know
want to
what
do.
I wish he would do?
What?
The pros and cons of hitchhiking.
Yeah. Okay.
You ever listen to that album?
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the
maybe.
first album he did after he left Pink Floyd.
Okay. I
He
gotta run through that again.
because when they did The Wall, they knew they were gonna break up.
Right.
They knew The Wall was their last
Right.
together
All his money was going to it.
album. And he actually presented them with 2 options. It was The Wall and Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking. So you should check it out.
I will. I will check
Random
that out. On this random album.
on this random music podcast.
Yes. I would love to do that actually. Just sit through an entire album and talk about it.
That would
I
be
would
cool.
love that so
That
much.
would be so cool.
Especially things like Kanye West. I would love to talk about Kanye West from polos and backpacks to Christianity. That'd be fun.
That's a whole can of worms
That's a
right
whole
there.
podcast.
That's like a podcast series.
Yeah, probably. Just to get through like George Bush does not care about black people. That's like a whole podcast right there.
And then you have your like the whole like Saturday Night Live incident
Yeah, that's
with him. That's like a whole podcast.
Which one was that? Was that the
That was the one he went on, and at the end of it, he took the mic during the bows and started going off about like where he was wearing a MAGA hat.
Oh wow. Okay,
And
yeah. I
started
remember.
going off.
I remember now. Yeah. I thought it was way older.
And like the you could see the cast members be like, and even like Pete Davidson later did a joke about it. He was like, and I didn't want to lose my career, so you could see me leaving the stage right there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to talk about like just music and the artists, Pink Floyd, Roger Waters, Beatles, Metallica. We can bring up Napster. I mean, there's so much things in our culture with like music that we could so have a whole entire podcast about that. Talk about a whole entire podcast. This random rabbit hole is another Kanye West feel, which I know you guys want to do something. And I'm still trying to find a good timing and a good place and a good everything for it because we can't fit 7 people in here.
No.
Unless you want to sit on my lap.
I mean, you
No.
do have this big couch.
I know. I was actually thinking of that. I was thinking of actually pulling all the cameras straight out and then just doing it that way, and we could all sit there. But
You could do it with multi-cameras.
mm-hmm.
Then you'd have to cut it.
Right. Well, I was just gonna run all of them at the same time and then just splice them all next to each other. and then have them all, and then have all the audio run on all of them at the same time.
That's a little chaotic.
That is a little chaotic. Maybe I won't do all that.
This random chaos hole.
Yeah, chaos hole. Wow. Okay, so Friday the 13th. I will most likely be there. You will well, you will actually be there.
I will
It's not like you
actually be
can't
there.
Be there. You have to be there.
Technically, after opening night, the director doesn't have to be there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Why?
But I will be there.
Of course.
That's a traditional, like in theater.
Okay.
Like after opening night, it becomes the stage manager show.
Did you know? I just showed you this.
But it's good form for directors to come to all of them,
right,
and be involved.
It's fair. It's like you're the manager. You should be at your store or whatever. You know?
No, I'll be there for every single one. I will be very involved in every single one.
You're excited.
I'm excited.
Do you?
And I just love Rocky. So.
Yeah, it's so good. Rocky is like every single time I would come home.
Rocky Horror Picture Show, not the boxing.
Yeah, not that one. The other one.
I mean, that's good too, but that's different.
Rocky. Yeah, that one.
You imagine that as a shadowcast?
What, the Rocky?
It'd be like, we're doing the Rocky shadowcast, and people show up.
In October. Let's just blend them two. Blend Rocky and Rocky Horror.
Like edit them together.
Yeah, edit them
and then
together.
Do a shadowcast.
So like have like Frankenfurter as Rocky.
See, I think more like the creature would be Rocky.
You think?
Yeah. Because they're both Rocky too.
Right.
That's the Rocky character.
Right. You're right.
So you could blend those together.
So that would be just his singing his song. I'm trying to think of what's his name? Of Rocky singing his first intro song. Woe is me.
The Sword of Damocles.
Is a mystery.
Yeah. Did you know that guy went on to like hate the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Really?
The guy who played Rocky.
Why?
Like went on to like say disavow the whole thing and say it was the biggest mistake of his life.
What?
And he's like super Christian. And is like, I should have never done that.
Oh well, a million plus people love it, so
and we're like, well, we love that you did, so
yeah, it's only fair. Like Tim Curry. Is Tim Curry still alive?
Yeah.
He is?
He still goes to cons and stuff. Like
really?
He's had a stroke.
Yeah.
He's wheelchair bound.
Right.
But he still like goes to cons and shows up for his fans.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Even if like the
struggle, I love him so much.
Me too. Even ever since I got introduced to him on Annie, I was like, who is this guy? Why is he so cool? And then like I saw him in Rocky, and then I saw him in Clue, which now Clue is like one of my favorite to go to bed to movies.
I love that movie so much.
You wake up and you're like, oh, it's the middle. You close your eyes and you wake up and you're like, oh, it's the endings.
Yes.
All the endings.
Yes.
I love that part about that movie. It's like,
there's definitely there's a saying about like you can get to know a person based on where they know Tim Curry from.
Right.
Like what aspect of
what does that tell you about me?
There's also Fern Gully.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I had strange attraction to Hexus for some reason, and I couldn't figure out why till later. It was like, oh, it's because it's Tim Curry's voice.
Yeah, right. Wow. I really want them to remake that.
No.
Fern Gully?
No, it's perfect.
I want them to remake it.
It's one of those
action,
perfect movies.
And have Tim Curry still in it.
I don't think he can talk very well now.
Oh, really?
Because of the stroke, yeah.
Oh, no. That's sad.
Like, even when they did the Rocky Horror, like, TV special remake, he was in it as the criminologist.
Oh.
And I think they had to dub some of his lines.
Wow.
To help him say the words.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
That reminds me of Die Hard. What's his name?
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about. The bald guy.
The bald guy. If you guys remember who,
The really super famous guy
right.
that's been in like
If you remember him, put him on the
Fifth
comments.
Element.
Fifth Element.
Multipass.
Yeah. Um, I hear that this might be his last Christmas. He had this brain thing, and he
Yeah,
like
he can't I forgot what it's called. It's like aphasia
I
or
don't
something
know.
where you can't speak, like the words don't come to you
Yeah,
right. It's really
it
sad.
is really sad. The last couple movies I heard, he actually needed like an earpiece, and they would have to like feed him the
Yeah.
lines, and that's so
I'm glad he
sad.
retired and
Right,
stepped away to
right.
spend time with his family though.
Before it got too bad,
I feel like that's like so many people like keep going like
Mm-hmm.
past when they should. And it's
Right,
like, don't you have enough money to
right.
sit back and
And
enjoy your family?
it's like all destruct.
Like
You're
we'll understand.
yeah, and it's better to do that instead of like destroying your career with like
Yeah.
really horrible movies at the end. Like, what
Right.
are you doing? Like this, just please go home. Take care of
just,
yourself.
just go
Leave
sit
me
by
with
the
Fifth Element.
fire. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, I'm so
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
There
There
it
you
is.
go, Bruce Willis. Yeah, I'm so worried. I'm not worried because there's gonna be a whole new generation of actors and amazing people that are doing amazing things. But like a lot of the old time action, not even action, old time movie heroes are getting so old.
Well, that means we're getting old.
Oh, shh, shh.
It's like our parents were like, "Oh, Elizabeth Taylor's getting old," and it's like,
Sean Connery.
it's like, yeah, that happens.
Yeah,
Mae West.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, but we're gonna have a whole bunch of new people. We're gonna have like the Stranger Things people, like in all the new movies.
That's true. That's
We
true.
are. They were like, I remember when I saw them in It. When I saw some of them, that one kid in It, and oh, it's just gonna be them for the rest of like the next 20 years. It's just gonna be them
I mean,
in
that's
different
fine.
movies. I'm okay with that too. I mean, they're all really great. It's just, I mean, I see where it's going, so it can't be really bad or anything because they're all good.
Yeah.
It's just I would like more. I would like more.
There's more.
Yeah, there is. I just need to
There's
watch more
more.
movies. I don't watch enough movies.
Yeah, maybe you've just only seen those movies with those kids in it.
I watch shows mostly. And then when a good movie comes out, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll watch it. And then when I hear bad movies are coming, like The Flash, the new one that just came out, Flash,
Yeah.
I was like, man, I heard so many bad things about this movie. Let's just watch it anyways.
Hold
It wasn't
on.
bad.
I gotta make sure it's not my cast needing something.
It's okay. You guys can all come and help be part of the show, be part of the group.
This is Director
hang
Life.
out.
I have somebody asking me about a wig.
Nice. Yeah.
It's good. We're good.
We're good.
We're good.
good.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I know you're trying to do some improv stuff.
Y'all.
What's going on with that? Because is it still like the whose line is it anyway type of thing?
So right now, yes.
Okay.
We are focusing solely on short form improv at the moment.
Okay.
Which is the whose line is it anyway type format. It's
Okay.
like a game show format, you know. We're gonna add some other elements that weren't in whose line.
Okay.
But yeah, like that similar format with like a host and you play games and it's like short little scenes.
I had a bird tell me that Matt Gray would love to be the host.
Oh my gosh. He's contacted me. I was like, you gotta come to auditions.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love you and you're awesome, but like
show up.
It's gotta be fair for everybody.
Right. You can't just be like, all right, give me my note cards. I'm next.
Be like, yes, I'm a local celebrity. No, yes. I love you, Matt Gray.
Yes, much love. Very much love.
I'm just giving you some gusto.
Yeah, you just gotta show up.
Just show up.
And maybe I'll take over. I don't know. Just kidding. I gotta show up too.
Yeah, you guys showed up to the one and then never came back.
And then the very I had kidney stones, and then the very next one I was supposed to go with Elo, and I like made promises to like family and love of my life and stuff. So I was like, I promise I'm just gonna be here with you today. I'm not gonna do anything. And then like 30 minutes before, he's like, so you on the way? I'm like, oh, Nikes. No, sorry. But we will. We will.
Well,
We
he only
will.
came to the one too.
Right, because I drive him. Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
drive him. So that's why we didn't go last
Gotcha.
week.
Well,
Because,
there's one more
yeah, no, we
of the
will.
workshop.
And that's this Wednesday, Thursday,
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Not this Wednesday.
Okay.
We're not doing one this Wednesday
Okay.
because Rocky's this week.
Rocky this week.
And I don't want to overexert myself
Right.
by splitting myself into two people and
Right.
being in two places at the same
Yeah, that
time.
might be a little
Like,
hard.
I feel like I could do it,
Yeah, man.
but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, you just run somewhere and be like, improv this, and then run back.
Yeah, I mean, it's really close.
Yeah, that's not
like
too far.
Max, and then we'll be at the Marion
Yeah.
rehearsing, you know.
It's like 2 streets, right?
Yeah, it's like right
I
there.
mean, long streets, but 2
So
streets.
I'll just be like, hold that thought.
All right, we'll do this about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Be right back.
Just have a live stream of them running through the movie and come over a microphone like, no, go back. Redo that part.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're missing your prop.
Wow, you're just over the camera in everyone's earphones?
Yeah, and then I'm
that
like,
sounds kind of complicated.
and then I'll be like, okay, improv, scene.
Improv, Rocky Horror Picture Show. Rocky Horror Picture Show.
If I did
wordplay.
it remotely and like had 2 cameras set up for each one, and I could just be like this between the 2,
Right.
maybe.
I would get so confused.
Maybe.
I'd be telling like Rocky to go do
I
something.
feel like we should live stream me trying to do that.
I like the idea. Even if it's not real, let's just still
like
try
the
it.
chaos of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
You know what? We can get everything set up at the Max, get some people for improv, get some people for the Rocky. We can put them in 2 separate rooms, and we'll put you in one room with 2 cameras, and you have to control
And
everything.
see if I can control both at the same time.
Yeah, I like this.
really test my abilities to multitask.
Right. And you have to pay attention to everything.
Everything.
Oh, you're gonna
and
look
then
at the
you guys
camera.
quiz me at the end on
Right.
what happened.
Oh my goodness. Like, you remember when you asked us to do the time
I'd be
warp?
like, I'm done.
Like, I had to explain
I
to
can't do
30
that.
people
No.
what the time warp was.
I'm just gonna say right now, that's a terrible idea.
I think it's a funny idea. I think it's brilliant.
It's hilarious. It is hilarious.
Wait until you get the improv thing going on, the improv show going on. We can do all 3. Let's just do all 3 and see if you can manage all 3 at the same time.
Okay. That sounds great.
Yeah. While you're sewing.
I'm sewing. No. I can multitask while I'm sewing, though.
You can.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Last night I was watching Our Flag Means Death while I was sewing.
I've gotten to like the 3rd episode on that.
Oh, I'm rewatching it.
Oh, you are?
I was watching season 1 again because I had a friend over who'd never seen it,
Oh,
and I'm
really?
like, "We're watching this."
If it was my choice, it would be What We Do in the Shadows.
I love that show
Me
so
too.
much.
Me too. It really made me want to be a vampire again. Like when I
Yeah.
was like a kid, a teenager, I was like, I want to be a vampire. And
I
then
am
grew
a
up and I was like,
vampire.
nah. Yeah, and then now I'm like, I'm Nando the Relentless. I am a vampire. Like,
Because I never relent.
My wife now. Yes. And then that was funny. You actually made me do a vampire on improv.
I did,
Which was so much
didn't
fun. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
yes, I am a vampire.
You're like, I can do this.
Yeah, I've been practicing
I'm
this
ready.
for weeks.
I've been waiting my whole life for this performance.
Come here, Nadja.
Mm.
Oh, I wish. I just recently watched YouTube videos with, I don't know her real name, but Nadja.
Mhm.
Like her YouTube videos are so funny. Like when she's like a food, like a food whatever, like help you with your weight or whatnot, and she's like what we do is we cut the salad and we cut the carrots and we smell it and then we throw it in the trash. She's so funny. I'm like, man, if this is the way her career started, I would be so okay with that.
Yeah.
So okay with that, seeing stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
So for the improv,
Yeah.
we have one more workshop left.
Right. Next week.
Not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday.
The 18th?
I think so. 18th. Yeah, it's the 18th.
Nice. Wow, I
Yeah.
did that in my head.
Good job.
I know.
2 points. Gryffindor.
Ravenclaw.
Crap. Okay, so we're going to do one more workshop, and then we're going to have a little graduation showcase. That'll be for like friends and family though.
Okay.
It's not like a full show.
Right.
Because there's no like audition for it. It's just
Right.
like if you
You're
came to
having
most
fun.
of the classes
Right.
and you want to do a little graduation show and show your friends
Aw.
and your family, like they can come and we'll like put on a little show for them. And then we're not doing anything on the 25th,
Okay.
which is a Wednesday.
Okay.
I will be up at Halloween.
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 What is that?
Halloween is a giant music festival up at Spirit of the Swanee Music Park.
Okay.
I'll be up there vending with Soul Essentials.
Okay. Wow. I didn't know
And
you worked for Soul Essentials.
yeah, I've been there for like 1,000,000 years. Come see me. I'll sell you crystals.
Crystals.
I could do like a whole podcast on crystals.
We can so totally do that
Yeah.
too. We should do it at Soul Essentials.
That would be cool.
And bring Big Mama in too.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go
absolutely.
see her on Saturday, but I had family stuff to deal with. But yeah, I would love to do that, especially if we can do it at Soul Essentials. It's been maybe a year since I've been there, but I remember checking it out and seeing Big Mama over there all the time. I almost said Baby Mama. Big Mama all the time. I mean, she probably wouldn't mind it, but.
Like, what's
I love whenever I see
She was at the birth of my child, my
She
youngest
was?
child. Yeah.
Whoa.
It was like Jennifer over at Soul Essentials.
Yeah.
Hippie Jen. She is one of my closest friends.
Yeah.
I've known her. My daughter's 16. I've known her for 15 years.
Wow.
Since my daughter was like on my hip, little baby.
Right.
And working with her throughout that time, off and on. And when my son was born, he's 3 now. I knew that she had always talked about wanting to see a birth.
Right.
And so I invited her, and I was like, "Come on down!" And she was so fun. She was like throwing Reiki at me the whole time.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good.
Good.
And she was like, "It was on my bucket list."
And how'd you feel through your birth?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet with that much.
I had a water birth.
Okay.
At my house.
Aww.
With the midwives.
Right,
I'm not like a crazy,
The water broke. Get me in the jacuzzi.
But it was like during COVID, so I felt like it was safer than going to the hospital. Yeah. And my husband's a scientist, so I had to like give him like studies of like
how this is okay,
like
how this is normal.
Trained midwives,
right?
Versus going to a hospital,
right?
Like real trained midwives, not like some. Chick that's like, I can deliver your baby. It's
on Craigslist.
Yeah. No, it's like legit trained, licensed midwives.
Right.
That know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They go through schooling, and it's actually pretty intensive what they have to go through in Florida.
I have a friend, Regina, who's a doula, and she actually also works with the fathers as well, because she's like with all my studies and all my learning that I've gone through, not once does anyone talk about what the dad goes through. And I was like, homie, that's awesome. Yeah,
so I had at my house, so my son was born in the house that my grandfather built.
What? Oh, that's
so sweet. Like he was born in the house that his great grandfather built, because I was able to buy that house back.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild to think about.
Yeah. And
wow.
It was awesome. Like compared to like giving birth in a hospital.
Yeah.
Like I'm definitely one of those people, like if you got something wrong, go to the hospital.
Right.
If you feel more comfortable in a hospital, give birth in a hospital.
Right.
But like if you're completely 100% healthy and you're cleared to do it, and you feel confident and you're close enough to a hospital in case something goes wrong,
right,
by all means,
go ahead.
Yeah.
I
didn't have a home birth because I'm anti-medicine or anything.
Yeah,
just to be clear.
Yeah, you're like anti-vax and anti-medicine.
No, not at all. Like,
how dare you?
It's very much like if you look at like the maternal like fatality rate and the infant mortality rate for a home birth is actually less than a hospital.
Right, because there's like it's
Because the
less
number one,
sickness and
well, the
less.
number one cause of in a normal birth, not counting crazy things that happen that you
Right,
need an
right,
emergency C-section for,
yeah,
high risk stuff. Like
where
in
you need to be in a
normal
hospital. Yeah,
birth, the highest or the most dangerous part is infection.
yeah,
That's what kills a lot of people, is getting
right,
an infection
right.
in the hospital, like getting like sepsis or
That's horrible.
streptococcus or whatever it's called.
I don't know what that
I'm
is.
pretty sure I mispronounced that and butchered
Probably,
it.
but it's okay. You can put it in the comments.
Yeah, what is it? Strep.
Strep. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Streptococcus.
strep.
Streptococcus.
Streptococcus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
So anyway, I highly recommend
Yeah.
having a home birth.
My fiance had 2 out of 3 at home.
Nice.
Yeah, the third one was a situation, so she had to go to a hospital.
Right.
Right.
That's what
Right.
you do.
Other than that, she would have done it at home.
Yeah.
Which I mean, after before I learned anything about it, I was like, "The heck is wrong with you?
Right.
Why are you not going to the hospital right now?" And then
Right.
once I actually got some research, I met, she told me how it was. I talked to Regina, who's a doula friend of mine, and I'm like, "Oh, infection. That makes sense. If you're home and everything's clean and everything's good, why not? Just, I mean, if you're just going to give birth to a baby and everything's been good, like, why can't you just be comfortable in your own space?"
Right.
We've been doing this as tribe people before hospitals were invented. So
Right.
I mean, like,
and also like the infant, like the high infant mortality rate that you hear about like in history and stuff.
right.
Like a lot of that was just literally infection.
Yeah.
Like not washing your hands.
Right. Unsterile tools.
And then they're like, let's wash our hands.
Right.
And then it was like, oh wow, less
Yeah.
babies are dying.
Whoa.
Crazy.
It's like I can pull them out.
Crazy.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So that's very fun. Some interesting
There's
extra information
random,
for you. Yeah.
random rabbit hole there.
Random rabbit hole. Man, there's so many stuff in random rabbit holes that I need to be talking about. I'm so ready. I actually even like, because we were planning to do something at the beginning of this month. I had like this blue laser rabbit hole that it was going on recently, a couple at the beginning of the month, about lasers in space, shooting lasers onto the islands of Hawaii. That's why it caught fire. And the one conspiracy theory about this fire is that there was these blue tarps and blue painted roofs that never got caught on fire. It's literally the building is on fire, but these blue umbrellas never caught on fire.
I saw that. Yeah.
There's these celebrities who none of their houses got burnt, but they all have blue roofs, and everything around it got burnt down. It's just a conspiracy theory, this random rabbit hole. Something we can totally talk about, and you guys can look into. Oprah. I'm just throwing her name out there. Maybe she'll give me something. I don't know. Keep my mouth quiet.
She's not going to give you anything. She's going to take everything.
She's going to pew pew.
Buy up all the land. And
she is.
Yeah.
And then build houses for all her rich friends. And then
pretty much. But anyway.
Yeah.
We digress.
So deeply.
Improv.
Improv. Yeah.
Back to improv. So we just posted the most latest event for Lo-Fi Theater is the improv auditions.
Yeah. And how are these auditions going to go? How can I prepare myself for an audition?
Exercise your brain.
Okay.
Show up ready to play the games.
Okay.
Like we're going to do some warm-ups, and I'm going to do a brief description of the games, and I am going to throw random people into the games.
Okay.
Like, show up ready to play.
Right.
Don't worry if you don't know the games.
Right.
Like, I'll explain it to you.
Right. You just have to get your brain moving, get yourself out there.
Yeah.
And do your best.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, for these auditions, is it just Like kind of how like I have different episodes, I always have different guests. Are these auditions like? Are you looking for like a base show to like select your main people, or are you
Yes.
planning to just yes?
Yes.
So these are gonna be your. I selected you. You are now part of the show.
So here's the thing. I know how people's schedules are.
Right.
Not everybody will be available to do every show every time.
Right.
So my hope is to have a pool of around 10 people.
Okay.
Ish, give or take.
Right.
That we can pull on to do different shows.
Right.
And
I need someone on Thursday, Friday, Saturday who's available on these days.
Right.
And then just pull from there.
Right.
Okay. Makes sense.
To see like, and also different people work better with different people.
Right.
So there could be, I always put A, B, and C together because they do great together. Yeah. And over here, H, I, and J are like an awesome group together.
Right.
H doesn't always work well with A. Their energy just doesn't mesh, you know?
Yeah.
So like even having it like that where we could have
makes a lot of sense.
Different availabilities, different times, different peoples that work well together.
You've really planned this out.
And yeah, I have really thought this out.
That's smart.
And hopefully we find a good venue and we are doing it on the regular.
Okay.
And you guys can like just come see improv shows. Like,
yeah.
Whenever, you know, because they'll be going on all the time.
You definitely should. I'm definitely should.
If anybody likes to sing, I recommend coming out because there's gonna be some cool stuff with that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good times.
Yeah.
More director stuff. That's fine. It's the week of show.
Right.
In theater, we call it Hell Week.
You're literally on Monday. And when is your first one?
Thursday.
Yeah. So you have 3 days left.
Yes.
Because today's what, almost halfway done?
Yes.
Wow.
So.
Wow. Yeah, and I'm gonna definitely be there on the second show. Definitely got to buy my tickets. You need to buy your tickets. How much are tickets? They're $35 for general admission.
No, $35 for VIP.
That's right. Sorry, oops.
And $20 for
general admission. Yeah, I'm getting. I got some contracts to sign later. I'll be getting some my way, and I'm probably gonna text you and be like, "Hey, save me a seat. Here's my Cash App."
No, will you buy it directly through Marion Theater's website? Directly
through Marion. See, I don't see. This is why we talk about these things. That's why we talk about these things.
And then the Marion Theater is like connected to the Riley, so it's like one big website. You go on their website, and then you click on the Marion, and then it'll be like all events, and then you'll see Rocky Horror Picture Show Shadowcast. They're also showing the movie.
Yes, they are.
So if you want to
the day before, right, or something
last weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just recently saw that as well, that they were showing.
And I think maybe like earlier in the day or something too. And that's different. But if you want to go just see the movie without the Shadowcast, go support the Marion.
Right.
But
if you want to support the people in
But
Ocala.
If you want to go and like see a whole thing.
Not just a movie where you're eating popcorn.
Like there's the Virgin Games. If you've never been to a Rocky Horror Shadowcast, we will pick on you.
Great, Elo will be there.
Great,
we have to pick on Elo because he's never actually fully watched the movie. He told me that, and I was like, what? What? Okay.
So yeah, we have some games and stuff in the beginning that we play, like a pre-show kind of thing, pre-movie pre-show. So we'll be doing that, and some like general announcements and stuff, and then we start the movie, and then you get a little goodie bag that has like little props in it and stuff that you can like play with during the movie or throw or both. And you can yell at the screen.
Which is not the same at the theater if you're just watching the movie.
If you're just watching the movie,
it's very, very different from the movie to the Shadowcast.
The Shadowcast is like so much energy, and you feel like you're involved in it.
Is the crowd allowed to dance to the time warp.
Absolutely.
Great, because if I can jump to the left and step to the right, I am all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All the way.
And then we're gonna the hands on your hips. That's all we can do for copyright reasons.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Oh.
I think you're allowed to have like a couple seconds.
Yeah, I think it's
clip.
like 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah. So
maybe
that was
not
like
10 seconds.
that's
yeah.
it. That's all we got.
Right. Charge me. All right, I'm just kidding. Don't do it. I don't have the money yet. But one day when I'm like on like the Alex Jones, Joe Rogan version level of money, I'm just gonna be like, play that song. No, keep playing that song.
Play it again.
They can just call me. Yeah,
play it again.
And a step to the right.
Like, can I just have this as my opening?
Yeah, this is now
song?
my new opening. With the random slide. I like
Perfect.
it.
I do.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I'm really excited. Like,
yeah, I bet.
I love Rocky so much. I can't even.
Oh man,
it's so good, and it's. I think a lot of people when they first watch it, they don't know what the hell's going on.
Right.
They're like, "What is this nonsense?
Why are these people at the graveyard? Why does everyone look so weird?"
Like, they're in a castle now,
Yeah,
and there's a cross-dresser,
right.
and the language is a little
The
dated,
dude
so
with the
I don't
hump.
know if I should be uncomfortable
Right.
or at the
It's
language there.
astounding.
And it's like,
time is fleeting.
okay, first of all, are they aliens? What's
Right.
going on?
Right.
Like, cannibal, alien,
Yeah.
cross-dressers in a
Sex
castle.
addict.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
The meatloaf is in it.
But to me, and to a lot of people, it was like the first mainstream movie that celebrated diverse gender expression.
Right.
Even though the language is outdated now.
Yeah.
You know, when we talk about trans people, we say transgender, you know, like it's very different now. But I think the movie gets a pass because that was the language they used in 1975.
Exactly.
And it was actually written by a trans person.
Really?
Yeah, Richard O'Brien. Okay. Still goes by Richard O'Brien, but I believe, don't quote me on this, does talk about using like she, her pronouns now. Okay. And dresses very feminine.
Okay, fair enough.
So it's interesting to see, like, and that was like before.
Yeah, before it was even a thing.
Like, yeah.
Like there was a thing, but it wasn't a thing.
Right. You were just considered a cross-dresser, which is not the same thing at all.
No.
Like,
exactly.
Those are completely. But at the time, you know, they hadn't really reached that.
Right. There wasn't that education or that growth of what understanding of what it is. It wasn't even
necessarily just education about it. It was just the language didn't exist.
Right. They didn't have like the.
That's why.
The understanding of it all, because it before it was just a cross-dresser, and then it's like it bloomed into more understanding of what.
Right.
Why?
Well, I mean, like, trans people have always existed.
Right. Always
like,
existed.
Since the dawn of time.
But there was no real way.
But there was no way to describe it.
Exactly.
Yeah, there wasn't the language for it.
Right.
You know, we don't have words for things, and we do our best with. I like to say we do our best with the information we have at the time.
Right.
You know,
and if you look at a movie like that, you got to understand the information they had at the time as well.
Exactly. But to me, it was like the first time I saw bi representation.
Yeah. Right.
Dr. Frankenfurter.
Yeah, it's both sides.
Definitely bi. And that was like the first time I saw anything that was like man, woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can like both?
Yeah.
What?
It's so funny.
Like, I didn't know that's an option.
Right.
Like,
right. What was it? I was watching a movie the other day, and it was an old movie, and they were talking about like the how they saw like straight, gay, bisexual people, and they're like straight people. Well, they're just you're a man, you like a woman. If you're a woman, you like a man, and if you're gay, you're a man who likes a man. If you're a woman, you like women, and if you're bi, you just like having sex with everyone.
No.
I don't think that's how that
No.
works. But this is also a movie that's like 40 years old.
Right.
Like it's
Right.
completely different.
Right.
That's how they understood it
Well,
at
even
that
from
time.
like, even going back and watching movies from like the 90s and
Right.
early 2000s, like some of
Early
the
two-
things they say, you're like, ooh. Like, oh God. I think one of the worst ones, which was one of my favorite movies growing up, is Ace Ventura: Pet
Right. Oh
Detective.
my god. Oh
It
my
is
god.
so
With the dolphin
cringy
one.
when you go back and watch
Yes.
it. It's like, oh, this is really
It's
transphobic.
very
Oh
transphobic.
my god.
At the end, when they find out that they all kissed the guy.
Yeah, and like
And they're
everybody's
like,
puking. It's like, this is so transphobic. Oh
So
my god.
transphobic.
But like that was like the kind of comedy, like
Yeah, it was so
yeah.
good. It's alrighty.
And then it's like, oh, do we cancel it?
Yeah.
Or is it
There's
like
Crocodile Dundee too.
yeah.
Like the second one, like it's bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad. When he goes to LA, it is.
Yeah, there's
bad.
been a couple movies that I've gone back to watch from my childhood, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
this isn't good anymore.
Laugh at this part.
Do I turn it off?
Right. Or
Like,
do we just finish? It's already the ending of the movie. Like, we found out who got the diamond. Should we just turn this off?
oh man, yeah.
Yeah, but we're now at a better place. But I will say that I do miss those movies because sometimes, like Django Unchained, it's a very newer feel. Newer feel of style of the movie, but at the same time, it is based in the time back then, and they did not hold punches.
Okay, I have thoughts about this.
Okay.
This actually came up recently in a private conversation I was having with some performers.
Okay.
About when you're doing comedy.
Right.
Obviously, never punch down.
Right.
So, never go below the belt. Never punch down on groups or people
Right.
below you.
Right.
And the whole thing about like 9/11 came up. Like, is it okay to make jokes about 9/11?
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm like, I think that would be on the same. Like, what aspect?
Right.
I think is important, because to me, if you just make like a lowbrow joke about thousands of people dying,
okay.
that's messed up.
Right.
That would be on the same line of making a joke about like Columbine.
Right. Okay.
Like,
fair enough. Yeah.
Or Pearl Harbor.
Right.
Even.
Right.
You can make jokes about the movie.
Yeah.
Because the movie was terrible.
Right. But the actual event.
But the actual event.
D-Day.
Like, that's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
However, I think it's okay to make jokes about your experience directly with the event.
Right. Right.
That's,
so like I was blah, 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 blah.
That's kind of like the movie Django.
Yeah.
It's not making jokes at the expense
right.
of the people that were mistreated
right.
and downtrodden
right.
and enslaved.
Right.
It's making jokes from the perspective of those people.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like their experience.
Right.
And like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I think that's kind of like me, if I were to make a joke about 9/11, it wouldn't be about 9/11,
right.
the event that killed thousands of people.
Right.
I could make a joke about my mom thinking that Lake Weir High School, where I went at the time, was the next target on the terrorist list and kept me home from school for 2 weeks.
Yep. I was at Richards Middle School, the next target too. Yeah, so I get it.
Right.
Yeah,
so
that's
like,
hilarious.
Like that's okay to make a joke about, because that's my personal experience dealing with it, and it's not making the joke at the expense of those people.
Right. Which totally makes sense.
Like in stand-up, in comedy, in improv, in writing sketches, in making films, never punch down.
Right.
but it's okay to make jokes about these really intense things, I think, from your perspective.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
when it comes to comedy,
okay, so another example of that. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
no, you're good.
Another example of that is like Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
Mel
Yeah.
Brooks is a Jewish man
Right.
who lost family in the Holocaust.
Yeah.
He can make jokes about Hitler on ice.
Right. Right.
or springtime for Hitler, or like
Yeah.
all those jokes, or
Mein
like,
Kampf.
and like, you know, the you know, where he like plays like a Jewish person that's
Right.
like in not, oh yeah, he was in Blazing Saddles
He's
too.
it's,
But in
what's his line? You want a circumcision? 2 for 1 deal right now.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
and he's like got the carrot, and
Yeah.
they're like,
And he's like, let me show you how it works.
yeah, Men in Tights. In
There
Men
we
in
go,
Tights,
yep.
he's got like the little, he's got the carrot, and he has like a little miniature like
Yep,
guillotine,
he does.
and he's like, can we just
You put the tip
snip
in
the
there.
tip?
Oh my
Snip
God.
the tip. And that, he's a Jewish man.
Right.
He can make those
Right.
jokes.
Right.
But if you or I dressed up
Right. As a Jewish person.
Yarmulke
and yeah.
and tried to make those same jokes,
Right.
it would be no.
Right.
You
Right.
can't do that.
Right.
And that's
I
like,
knew
stay
this.
in your lane.
I knew this
I
guy who this guy that I know. It's been a long time since I've seen him, but he memorized and could repeat.
Spaceballs.
No, not Spaceballs.
Men in Tights.
No, it's a comedian. The Chris Rock, like he was like it was either Eddie Murphy or Chris Rock, somewhere where they say the N-word a lot.
Right.
This dude is whiter than white,
No.
and he's memorized the entire thing. He's like, you should really hear me say it, and I'm like, please don't, just please don't say it, because honestly, it's just not going to be the same coming out of your mouth.
Right.
It's just not. And
Right.
yeah, and you know, I totally get it. There's certain things that you probably can't or shouldn't touch, and then there's things that
But
are
there's so
maybe
many
slightly fair game.
things. Like,
Right.
life is so
Yeah.
random.
Right.
Life,
It is.
your experiences. If you make comedy or you make jokes about something that you haven't lived,
Right.
or you haven't experienced, it's gonna fall flat anyway.
People are going to be able to see that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you're telling like your life story, or you're pulling on like some truth
Right.
from your life,
Right.
some things that you experienced and went through, you're going to add so much depth
Right.
and so much interest and layers to like the jokes
Yep.
and to the story in
Yeah.
general.
And there's a realness to it.
It's so much better. And like, that's one of the things in improv too. It's like when you're making characters
Yeah.
on the fly,
Right.
like, are you making characters that of people that you've never interacted with?
Right.
That's
so
gonna probably
is it a fake character? Is it a character you put in your mind that's you've never actually dealt with before?
Or are you like mimicking this one person that you knew that had a bakery and they had a certain affect about them?
Yeah.
And you're like picking up on that, like, yeah, you're gonna
Right.
like be able to emulate.
Right. You've
And
been
like
working for
turn it
this
into
guy for
something
like
else.
2 years.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
now
yeah.
you're gonna like take a little of what
Yeah.
he's got and make this person. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, true. That makes sense. And I guess I can see that when you are trying to do something, if you have no real life experience behind it, it really would fall flat.
It falls flat.
With the fact that
Absolutely.
you, and then people would actually be able to really know, because it's not the difference between the fakeness and the realness. Is the fakeness, obviously you're gonna fall flat, but with the realness, there's probably certain aspects of the story where people are like, I've been there, I've done
Right.
that. I
Right.
can so follow this because I've done the exact same thing.
Right.
And you are so on point because this is actually something that's happened to you.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I went to the blah, 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 and I did the blah, 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 and I did the blah, 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 and none of it really happened. And everyone's like, that's not really funny.
Right. Exactly.
11:18. How long have we been talking?
About an hour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you want to say anything extra to the guests or anything to bring up?
I'm super proud of my cast
Good.
in Rocky. And
Yes.
please, if you don't come out for me, come out for them. If you know any of them in the cast, they've been working their booties off. And come see them. Come see the show. Come see Rocky. Come to audition for improv, even if you have no My first audition for improv back in 2004, 2005, showing my age here.
Okay.
Um, my first audition, I literally had never done anything like it, but I loved like Saturday Night Live,
Right.
and
All that
I
stuff and
loved all
Who's
that
Line
stuff,
music.
and I just showed up, and they're like, play some games and do some stuff, and then they like called me and they're like, you want to be in the show? And I was like this little like 18-year-old kid,
You're like,
and
okay.
like was performing like multiple times a week doing improv,
Whoa.
and that was like my first experience with like theater stuff. Like I had done like some like film stuff in high school. Like
Yeah.
I think we had TV productions and I was
Right.
like on the morning news and stuff, but I'd never done anything in front of a live
Yeah.
audience before. And that was like my first introduction. So what I'm saying is you do not have to have experience.
My first time was maybe 3 weeks ago. I honestly had no idea what I was getting myself into. She's a wonderful teacher. She really gets you into it. I actually came in being like, oh, I'm just going to take some pictures and blah, 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 and just hang out. Blah, blah. You made it so much fun. It was hard for me to be like, all right, I'll skip this game. Like, no, like you're like, your turn. I'm like, okay.
It's like you
Let's
you want to jump in. I can see it.
I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. What's the worst that could happen? Everyone else kind of sucks too. So if I'm sucking, it's not that bad. It's not that
Yeah.
bad. And then once you start getting used to the suck, the realness comes out.
Oh
Like you
yeah.
get like so much more used to it and comfortable, and you just
So
kind of flow with it.
I know we're wrapping up.
I know it's okay.
But because I've done a lot of things in my life, but I also have tried a lot of things.
Right.
And I remember one day I was talking to somebody, and this is somebody I worked with, and I'd mentioned like I did improv, oh I did this, I did theater, I can eat fire, I can breathe fireballs, and
Cool.
like I've been here, I've been there, I've done this and this and this, and like roller skate, roller derby, like all this other stuff, and like she was a younger girl, and she goes, how have you done all those things, like, and I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, you just like try things and then you're like good at it. I'm like, no.
No.
I said, there's been a couple things that I just tried and was good at. And then there's other things that I tried and I never
Yep.
mastered,
Yep.
and I never got to the level that I wanted to get to.
Algebra.
So like if you want to do stuff, this is where I'm getting with this. If you want to do stuff, if you want to try stuff, if you're like, I've always loved improv, I always want to try it, but I'm afraid I'm going to suck. Or I've always wanted to do theater, I always want to do Rocky shadow cast, I'm afraid I'm going to suck. Don't be afraid to suck.
Right. Everyone sucks.
Don't be afraid to suck. Everyone sucks a little bit.
Everyone sucks a little bit.
I mean, there's gonna be things that you get in there,
Yeah.
and like from day one,
Right.
you're like awesome at it.
You're so good.
And it's like you found your thing.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be other things where you keep going, you keep trying, and you just don't get there.
Yep.
And you're not progressing in the way you want to. You see people around you progressing faster.
Yep.
And it's like but if you really want it,
Right.
you can stick with it. But then
Go
there's
get it.
other things like I can't do roller derby because my body won't let me.
Right. Right.
I've had injuries. I have scoliosis. I love it. I love playing it. I love going. I love skating. I can't do it.
Right.
Like I can't, my body just does not let me.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to say that didn't work out.
Yeah.
Like mad respect for the people that do that.
Yeah.
But
It hurts.
like my body just doesn't let me skate anymore.
Right.
And that's something I've left behind. Burlesque is something I've done too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's getting to the point where I don't know if my body's going to let me do that anymore.
Right.
And I also have like some surgeries coming up that might affect that too. So I don't know where I fit into that anymore. But I think my just advice to not just young people, but anybody out there that wants to
Everybody.
be in the arts or wants to do some type of sport or performance or thing or write, or it's okay to suck.
It is. It's perfectly fine to
It's
suck.
fine.
It really is.
Just suck for a
Yeah.
while.
The hardest step is the first step.
Yeah.
Just keep walking after
And it's
that.
okay if you always suck at it, because you can try something else.
Right.
And you might not suck at that, and that might be your thing.
Right. You could do it for a couple months and be like, you know what? I'm just not getting this. And then you leave. But I promise you, just for trying alone, you will gain new skills. You will learn new
Yes.
things. You will become a better human in definitely 100 types of different ways. And you will
Absolutely.
meet better people. And maybe your niche isn't acting or drawing or dancing, but maybe one of those people have a niche that you might run into and be like, what is that? And then you get a new niche to try out again. But you won't know until you take that first step.
Yep. So come on out to Rocky Horror this weekend.
Yep.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday at the Marion Theater. And then the 18th of October, Wednesday, October 18th, it will be our final improv workshop. It's open to the public. It's okay if you haven't come to any of them. And if you just want to check us out, if you're thinking of coming to auditions and you kind of want to like feel the vibe before you get to the auditions,
Cool.
That's an option. And then auditions will be November 1st. Also, she's not here with us today. Joan Elizabeth is in Witch.
Yes.
It's by OCT over at the Riley in their Black Box Theater. I went to see it Sunday.
You did?
It was phenomenal.
It was?
So
Oh my
good.
goodness, I want to go so bad.
Joan is freaking amazing. So if
bet.
there's tickets left this weekend, go see it. I know there's some tickets left.
Okay.
Yeah, go see it. It's freaking awesome. It's like one of those like timeless stories.
Yeah, I might have to multi-drop on some.
I don't want to like no spoilers, but like it's one of those things that could fit into any time.
Right.
But
Thank
no
you.
spoilers.
No spoilers.
Yeah.
No spoilers. So, like you know, she's told you everywhere to go. I can tell you on the 13th, hang out from 5 to midnight. So then you can at least hang out with me from 5 to 10. And then from 10, you can hang out with both of us till midnight. And remember, everybody, take that first step. It is the most crucial point of going anywhere.
Don't be afraid to suck.